my most amazing artists. And how are you today? Today will be a great day. Today we will create pixel art. First, we will look at some artwork and see what we notice. Then, Ms. Collier will demonstrate how to create pixel art in Google Sheets. Last, you will create your own pixel artwork. Let's create. Love, Ms. Collier. Before we make our own pixel art, let's look at some famous pixel art. Take a look at this artwork. What do you notice? What was one thing that you noticed about those artworks? Yeah, they all have kind of like little tiny boxes, and each box has one color. I've also noticed that most of these artworks are from video games like Mario, Pokemon, Adventure Time, Minecraft, Roblox, Animal Crossing, and other video games. If we think about how we're going to create what's called pixel art, what's your guess of what a pixel is? If you said that a pixel is something to do with a computer or a screen, you are correct. So right now, even as you're looking at Ms. Collier on this screen, you are looking at lots of pixels. A pixel is basically a really tiny square on a computer, and each pixel gets one color. And when you put lots of pixels together, then you get a picture that's different colors. If all the pixels are the same color, of course that whole section would look the same color, but if they're different colors, then you see a picture. So we're going to look at some more artwork and think about how this artwork looks similar or different from our pixel artwork that we just looked at. These two pieces of art are by an artist named Ellsworth Kelly. What do you notice in these two artworks? Yeah, they both have these big squares of color. How is this artwork similar from the pixel artwork we just looked at? Yeah, it's similar. It looks kind of similar to pixels, where each square has a certain color. How do these artworks look different from the pixel artwork we just looked at? Yeah, these artworks are much more random. They don't create a certain picture. They're just an abstract artwork. Last thing before you get started, or before I show you how to create your own pixel artwork, is I'm going to have you look at Ms. Collier's examples. I made 2 examples. What do you notice in these 2 examples? What's one thing that you noticed about those 2 artworks? They both use little squares. They both use a grid. What's different about those 2 artworks? One is more like Ellsworth Kelly's artwork. It's just kind of a pattern, more abstract. And one is a picture or character, Pikachu. When you get to create today, I'm going to show you how to do it in just a moment. You can decide, you'll only have 100 squares, and you're going to decide if you want to create a picture of something or if you want to create something more abstract. It's totally up to you. So when you open your assignment, it's going to look something kind of like this. I'll say pixel art here, and it has the directions. So It says, use this spreadsheet to create your own pixel art drawings. Click on the Fractions 10 by 10 tab. Where is that? Oh, down here at the bottom to begin. To color the squares, type in the lowercase letters from A to S, so those are the letters on your keyboard, as indicated at the key. The key is going to look like this. So to get black, I'm going to type a lowercase a. If I want dark green, I'm going to type a lowercase k. For the color white, I just leave the square blank, and to remove a color, I just delete what I typed in the cell. If you want to change colors, it tells you how to do it here. If you want to change colors and you don't know how and you're struggling, please comment, leave a private comment, and I will meet with you to try to show you how. Don't worry about the done part yet. So we're going to go over to the Fractions tab, Fractions 10 by 10 tab. Here is your grid. It's exactly 100 squares. Miss Collier, why is it exactly 100 squares? Why can't I use more? Because next week you are going to use this project to do some math. All right, so we wanted you to have exactly 100 squares. No more, no less, exactly 100. That way it'll make your math a little bit easier. All right, so we still have our color key at the top. We see red would be the letter E. Remember, it's lowercase, not uppercase, even though the uppercase letters are up here. So if I want to create a certain picture, or I want to put a color in a square, I'm going to click on the square. On my keyboard, I'm going to type that lowercase letter. If I want it to be red, I'll type an E. And then when I move to the next square, all of a sudden that square changes to red. If I want to make a whole line red, I can push the tab key to go E, tab, E, tab, E, tab, and be really fast. Oh no, if I made too many, I'm going to go back and I will just delete it. So I'm just pushing the delete key or the backspace key. The other way is if you look up here in the function box, you can also type in here. So if I want to make this yellow, and then I can come find a different square and go back up here and type, right? That way you see what's happening. It's totally up to you. I think it's easier to just click and then type and change and type and then click on it and click delete. But if I go back to the yellow, click in that yellow square, I'll see that I, and I can go back and delete it. Then when I click out of it, it'll go back to being white. I'm going to highlight all of these and delete them. One key recommendation. At the end of this project, you'll see over here a square for each color, and then it's going to ask you to type the fraction over 100. Why would it be over 100? Yeah, because there's 100 squares. So you are going to add up or count how many colors, how many boxes are this color. I mention that because I want you to think about how many colors you're going to use in your picture. The more colors you use, the more fractions you have, and then the more decimals you are going to have to calculate. You must use at least 3 different colors, but I would recommend not using more than 5. If you want to, be my guest, but it's going to make you're going to have to do more math if you use more colors, okay? At least 3. So let's do this. I'm going to type my initials, and I'm going to fast forward here. have my pixel art finished. I used 3 colors. So then you don't have to worry about the decimal part yet, but I think it'd be helpful if you count over here your fractions. So I used this color blue, so I'm going to count those squares. 12. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to write the number 12 because I counted 12 squares that are that color blue. This blue, 16 that are that blue, and then I'm going to count the gray. I think I miscounted. And then to double check my counting, I'm going to add up the numbers that I have. So I'm going to go 7, 10, and 10. So 70 plus 10 plus 10 is 90. And then 6 plus 2 plus 2 is 10. 90 plus 10 is 100. So I have my numbers counted correctly. And there we go. For your project, for this point of the project, you can turn it in at this point, and you'll do the decimal part later with Mr. Howard. So just to recap, you are going to open the Google Sheets in your assignment. You are going to go to the second tab, fractions 10 by 10, and you're going to create a pixel art. How many colors do you have to use? At least 3. You can use as many as you want, but you have to use at least 3. You make your artwork, then you're going to count up how many tiles or squares of each color that you used and put it in that chart. Then you are going to turn it in. You will need this assignment next week or later in the month. So make sure that you finish this part, because it's going to be a 2-part assignment. If you need help, you're struggling with Google Sheets, or you don't know what to create, you need help figuring out how to create your stuff, leave a private comment, email Miss Collier, talk to Mr. Howard, he'll get in touch with me, or your homeroom teacher, whoever your homeroom teacher is, and I would be happy to set up a Google Meet to help you. I can't wait to see what you all create. Bye!